for our community. I've been a tactical officer for a lot of years. I was on the SWAT team in Logan and was able to go through a lot of school shooting training specifically that was put on by, at the time they were current special operations guys for the military, and just recently was able to go to another training from a retired special forces officer. He's actually a lieutenant colonel. And so I feel that these trainings will help in our schools. We're going to put one of these on in June, and we're going to have all the law enforcement agencies represented throughout the valley. We're going to have Gold Cross, Classic Helicopter. We're going to transport patients to the hospital, so the hospital will be involved in that. So our teachers will be involved, our principals, the staff in the school, that our secretaries, they're going to get exposed to this. And we did this a few years ago, and I didn't hear anything but good and positive from that, because it's something that we don't want to think will happen here, but we've averted several of these situations in our own schools here. And working in the schools, I've personally been involved in some of those where it could have gone the other way. It could have been bad, but people in our community are really good, and we've empowered our kids to talk to us and report these kind of things. So those suspicious behaviors that those kids showed were reported, and we were able to get those guns before they were able to use them, or those knives, or whatever it was that, explosives and things, the reports that we've had. And so over the years, that's helped to empower our kids. And I think my experience with that and the trainings that I've held and the ones that I'm a part of now, we're going to have more trainings for our officers at the end of this month, and they can go through some of our schools. It makes them more familiar with our schools. So if we have any sort of issue with anything in our schools, our officers already are familiar with it. And we have so many neat programs in our schools that don't necessarily just involve tactical situations. And like right now, the school district has a program to get us into the schools, which is very important. It's called Read, Eat, Play. And we're going into the schools as officers and reading to the kids in the elementary schools. And it's really neat to watch, them enjoy this. And then we go eat lunch with them. And when I was a school resource officer, it was so much fun to just go and sit with the kids and get their perspective on life and see what they're all about. I would play basketball with them, and it was a lot of joy. I had an adult now talk to me in a store today that we played basketball at the junior high together during lunch, and it was a lot of fun. And they respect law enforcement a lot more when they see us in that more relaxed environment. And I'm gonna continue with that program, the Read, Eat, Play, and have the sheriff's deputies in the schools, and so they're more visible, and so that our children know that the officers aren't bad people. They're good people, and they're there for them, and they don't need to be scared of the uniform and the gun and all the stuff that we wear all the time. And we're not the bad guy here. And so on top of that, with the tactical experience, I'm not just a SWAT guy and go and kick in the door kind of guy. I have certifications in less lethal tactics, and what that means is beanbag rounds and OC spray and going hands-on with people, so that we're not just the knuckle dragging, hauling people to jail kind of officers. We've got a lot of options at our disposal, and with my certifications and experience, I'm gonna teach our deputies these things so that those can come into play instead of having lethal confrontations all the time. And unfortunately, those are part of our job, but hopefully we can minimize that and work through that with other options because of some of the training that I've been in. The Children's Justice Center is a huge benefit for our community. I started on the SART team, which is the Sexual Assault Response Team, in '05 when I moved back to the Uintah Basin and I became a detective here. It's a comfortable place for kids to go to be interviewed when terrible things have happened to them. And there's so many benefits, financial and emotional support that the Children's Justice Center provides. In '07, the director of the Children's Justice Center and some of the other powers to be in the community, that, you know, chiefs and sheriffs and whatnot, county commission, they decided that the direction we were going with the Children's Justice Center could be improved. And Tanya Murray, the director at the time, she had seen a program that it was an interviewing program that she felt that we should adopt. And so as law enforcement agencies, county attorney, chiefs and sheriffs, they got together and met and approved this interviewing technique or module that was approved in '07. And so a whole bunch of us in the community that were detectives and some patrolmen went through this program of interviewing children, so that we're not putting things into children's heads when we're interviewing them, but properly doing it so that prosecutions can go forward. And so when that was implemented in '07, that was a huge benefit to our whole community, to have children there and then for us to be interviewing kids properly. And I credit that with the director of the CJC for going out to the Wasatch Front and getting this program for us that was a national program. It started in Washington, D.C., and they brought it out to the Wasatch Front, and it was presented there, and she was willing to bring it back to us, and then it was implemented. And so having worked there at the CJC, interviewing kids and benefiting them and seeing them be able to be happy again after going through those horrible things was very touching for me. I was very appreciative of those programs coming to the Uintah Basin and being very modern. You know, having come from Logan, I think as the state as a whole, we were just kind of winging it. We had to interview children, and there was some of us that were good at it and some that weren't. And now this is a very standardized program that everybody uses. It makes it a lot easier for maybe that person, that detective that isn't a great interviewer. It gives them a model that they can use, and they get better and better all the time. And so these children are comfortable with the police, and they want to talk to us, and they want to tell their story, and then the Children's Justice Center the full benefit can help them and get them back on the right path, and they're